I'm Rebecca, 35 years old. I work from home as a freelance writer. My family consists of my husband Bart, who's 3 years older than me and works for a major corporation, my mother-in-law Casey, and me. My father-in-law passed away from an illness 5 years ago. Bart and I have been married for 5 years now, but we've been struggling to have children. Every day I get nagged by Casey about having grandchildren. Really, Rebecca? When are we going to see a grandchild? It's been 5 years since you got married. What exactly are you two doing? Not this again, Casey. It seems like I get asked this question every day. Can't you stop? I'm really fed up. What are you talking about? I'm just worried about your future. Is that a nuisance to you? If you're really worried about us, could you please just leave us alone? We have arguments like this almost every day, and it's been mentally exhausting.
Mom, can't you just stop? This is our issue. It's not something you should be meddling in.
Bart had overheard mine and Casey's conversation upon coming home and scolded her. What are you saying? This is an important issue for our family. We need an heir.
An heir? Our family isn't some ancient lineage, right? Dad was just a regular employee, and you're a housewife. There's no need to obsess over an heir.
That's right, Casey. Even if I do get pregnant, I can't choose the baby's gender. I'm troubled when you talk like this. Bart and I tried to convince Casey to stop involving herself in this matter. However, Casey continued with nonsensical talk, saying that if I truly wanted to bear an heir, I would naturally conceive a boy, and that my inability to do so was due to a lack of intent. It's unrealistic to think one can control the gender of their baby by will. But our explanations didn't get through to Casey, who was so eager for a grandchild. Instead, Casey, feeling attacked, became grumpy and retreated to her room. Casey doesn't know yet, but Bart and I started fertility treatments. 6 months ago, after thorough medical examinations, it was discovered that Bart was the cause of our infertility. The look of guilt on Bart's face at that time is something I still can't forget. On the way back from the hospital, Bart suddenly said in the car,
I'm sorry it's because of me that we can't have children. If you hadn't married me, Rebecca, you might have been a mother by now. I'm really sorry.
Bart, who rarely shows weakness, had tears in his eyes and kept apologizing to me. What are you talking about? I didn't marry you just because I wanted children. I married you because I love you. We just need to keep trying with the treatment together. I had never seen Bart so down before, and I tried to find the right words to comfort him. But I couldn't find the right words, and ended up saying the best thing I could think of at the moment. However, it's not like I'm feeling any pressure. I'm already 35, not exactly a young age. It would be a lie to say I'm not in a hurry. Just recently, I saw a few of my friends posting about their second or third child on social media. At 35, it's not unusual to be married and have children, but I haven't even reached the starting line yet. It's become painful to see posts about children, like birth announcements or school enrollments, and I've started to dislike browsing social media. When friends noticed I wasn't liking their posts, they began to exclude me from gatherings. I feel like I'm living in a different world just because I don't have children. It's so painful to feel this way just because we can't have a child. Still, I couldn't blame Bart. Hey, I was doing some research at work today, and I found this clinic. Why don't we give it a try? I showed him a famous fertility clinic in the city. Look, it has good reviews and offers cutting-edge treatments. It's a bit far, but I think we should try it. What do you think?
Yeah, I know this place. Actually, a senior colleague's wife got pregnant, and she was treated here. I've heard good things about the doctor, and I'm really interested.
Really? Then let's make an appointment right away. The wait for a first consultation here is a month.
If that's the case, we should book an appointment soon. Let me know when it's confirmed, and I'll take the day off.
Bart and I decided to transfer to this clinic that offers more specialized treatment than where we were going. The following month, I visited the fertility clinic with Bart. We completed all the initial tests and were just waiting for the doctor's consultation. It really is a famous hospital. We've been waiting an hour just for the tests, and now over an hour for the consultation.
But there are many people around our age here, right? Seems like many are going through the same struggle.
With the long wait, we moved to the cafe inside the clinic to wait for our turn. After waiting for 2 hours, we were finally called for the consultation.
The tests show Bart's condition is quite bad. We need to start treatment as soon as possible.
The results were worse than those from the previous clinic we visited. Additionally, considering my age, it seems necessary to visit this clinic several times a month. Previously, Bart had been quite down after hearing the results, but this time he felt differently. He had heard that a senior colleague had gone through a long treatment and finally had a child, which made him want to try harder.
I'll talk to my boss and try to make it to the hospital as much as possible. It might be tough, but will you work through this with me?
Of course, let's do this together. Our first appointment at the clinic is in a week, but the problem was Casey. If we were going to start serious treatment, I'd need to take time off work. We couldn't keep this from Casey any longer. When we got home, we immediately explained to her that we were going to start fertility treatments. However,
fertility treatments? That must cost thousands of dollars, right? You really are a failure as a wife if you can't have a child without all this.
She assumed the infertility issue was my fault as soon as she heard the word. Hold on, Casey. It's true that fertility treatments involve both of us, but the issue isn't with me. I wished Bart would just tell Casey outright that he was the reason, but maybe because of his pride, he couldn't bring himself to say it.
So, will these treatments guarantee a boy? If you end up having a girl after all this, I won't forgive you.
Casey, I can promise many things, but I can't control that. A boy or a girl, either would be our precious child. But Casey didn't believe me. On the contrary, her demands for a grandchild only escalated. She started buying all sorts of things that she heard were good for fertility.
Listen, Rebecca, a neighbor told me about this herbal medicine that's supposed to be good for infertility. Just try it, will you?
Not again, Casey. Just the other day, you bought all sorts of strange figurines and amulets because they were good for fertility. And please stop telling the neighbors about our infertility. It's embarrassing. Ever since she talked to the neighbors about our infertility, Casey started receiving various things. A mysterious herbal medicine for infertility from the wife next door. A letter from a famous fortune teller known for fertility blessings from the wife across the street. Strange figurines from friends.
You need to pray to this figurine every morning and evening.
Such unhelpful advice was given. The last straw was a baffling suggestion from an uncle to visit some fortune teller, which was honestly a nuisance.
What are you talking about? I bought all these thinking of you. To call that a nuisance? Can't even bear a grandchild, and now such an arrogant daughter-in-law.
Casey's behavior escalated further, not seeing anything wrong in her actions. She was convinced she was doing the right thing, which was truly troublesome. The creepy figurine she placed in our bedroom without permission was just too much to bear. Anyway, please stop spending money on these nonsensical things, and don't enter our room without permission. A while later, Bart came home. Casey, displeased at being scolded by me, explained the situation to him, still insisting it was all for our sake.
Can't you just stop, Mom? You're putting weird figurines in the bedroom, and everyone is talking about it. It's embarrassing when neighbors say, "Keep trying," to me. Just stop, okay?
Apparently, Bart had run into a neighbor on his way home from work and felt embarrassed when they said, "Keep trying," so he hurried home.
What? Everyone's just being kind to you. Can't you see that? Just leave us alone, okay? And if you don't do something about that figurine, we're going to have to leave this house.
Casey didn't say anything more, seeming affected by being scolded by her son. She went to her room, looking downcast. 3 months after transferring to the fertility clinic, our treatment had not yet yielded the results we hoped for. I started having more days where the side effects of the medication made me feel so sick I couldn't work. While resting in bed because of my poor health. Just lying in bed while my son works hard outside. What are you doing? Casey, I've told you many times, don't come into our room without permission. I'm just lying down because I feel unwell. Could you maybe fix something for lunch? Well, how lazy can you be? When I was married, I still cooked even when I was sick. I wonder how your parents raised you. She even started insulting my parents, which really angered me. I think it's wrong to insult my parents. Let me ask you, did your parents teach you it's okay to enter people's rooms without permission? Don't you think that's wrong? Casey, not expecting me to say something like that, looked surprised, but then her face turned red with anger. Why should I be spoken to like this by my daughter-in-law? How dare you? Who do you think you are? Angry, Casey started berating me, turning the situation into a bit of a mess. Please, I'm really not feeling well. Just leave my room, please. I managed to end the conversation and usher Casey out of the room. Outside the door, Casey was still making a ruckus. Why do I have to go through all this? I love Bart, but I can't stand Casey's treatment anymore. The word divorce started floating in my mind. A few days later, Bart made a suggestion to me. It was about using a sperm bank. A sperm bank? Why are you bringing this up all of a sudden? I was honestly surprised, as we had never discussed this before. Bart began to explain his reasoning slow. As the doctor mentioned before, my test results are getting worse. I no longer believe that continuing treatment will result in us having children. That's why I looked into it and found out about sperm banks. I had been gathering information about infertility treatments, so I was aware of sperm banks. I understand how you feel, but I can't just say yes to this right away. Can I have some time to think about it? There was part of me that was resistant to the idea, so I asked Bart to give me some time to sort out my feelings. He agreed to wait for my answer without any sign of displeasure. Meanwhile, I pondered what to do while working. Certainly, there are many couples who have conceived children through sperm donation, and others who have adopted. But even if we decide to use it, what would our parents think? Would they vehemently oppose it? Conflicted, I decided to consult my mother. Mom, there's something I want to talk to you about. Oh, it's unusual for you to call. Is something wrong? I told Mom about our infertility treatments and Bart's consideration of using a sperm bank. I thought she would strongly oppose it, but instead, she asked me, What do you want to do, Rebecca? Me? I guess you must have been really troubled to call me. What do you really want to do? Her question made me pause and think. Then I remembered something from last Christmas. Every year, lots of relatives come to our family home for Christmas. There are many children among them, running around, causing chaos. Walls end up with holes, and food gets knocked over. It's always hectic. But since Bart started coming, the kids' behavior changed. They would gather around him to play games or go outside. Hey, let's go outside and play. Sure, I brought a kite today. Let's go fly it in the square after this. Yay, awesome! Watching Bart having fun with the children, I felt a warm smile form on my face. Bart loves kids and had always talked about wanting to be surrounded by many of them in the future. I wanted to make Bart a father, to let him hold our child in his arms. That desire grew stronger within me. Our child wouldn't be 100% biologically related to us, but that didn't matter to me. I think Bart will love and cherish any child I give birth to, even if there's no blood relation. He loves kids and is kind-hearted. That's true. He's always popular with the kids at family gatherings. They get so excited when he comes. It's clear how much he loves children. Mom, I've decided to respect Bart's wishes. We're going to try using a sperm bank. That's fine, Rebecca. What matters is not blood relation, but the bond between parent and child. She was right. Being a parent isn't just about blood relations. It's about how much you value the time spent together. That day when Bart came home, I told him I wanted to use a sperm bank. He was happy with my decision. I'm sorry for making this so hard on you, Rebecca. I'll help as much as I can. Let's do this together. A week later, we informed our primary physician about our decision to use a sperm bank. The doctor referred us to a facility, and we visited it later. At the facility, we received counseling and an explanation of the process. After consulting with the clinic, we were both able to use the sperm bank. Before starting treatment, we went to my parents' house to explain everything. After going through the details, my parents supported our decision without any objections. Feeling relieved, we were then faced with the biggest problem. Casey. We gave Casey the same explanation, but she opposed us vehemently. Absolutely not. I can barely accept infertility treatment, let alone a sperm bank. The grandchild will be some stranger's child. I'm totally against it. Hey, what are you saying to Rebecca? This is our decision, not for you to make. Even if you oppose it, we've decided to go through with it. Bart was really angry at her harsh words, but Casey wouldn't budge this time. I could understand Casey's feelings to some extent. In her youth, infertility treatments might not have been common, so it's understandable that she might not fully grasp the concept. But still, her earlier comment was so hard to accept. It was natural for Bart to be furious, but that didn't mean we could stop our treatment. I understand your feelings, Casey, but this is our issue, and we won't stop even if you oppose it. We just wanted to report it as a family matter. After conveying this, we returned to our room. The next day, Casey took an unbelievable action. She spread a false rumor to our relatives that I was pregnant with a child from an affair. A shocked relative called Bart to verify the facts, and that's how we discovered what she had done. We hadn't even conceived yet. Of course it wasn't true. We explained that we were undergoing infertility treatment. Fortunately, Bart's relatives knew us well and understood I wasn't that kind of person. When we got home, Bart understandably confronted Casey. I didn't know what was happening until Bart explained it to me. How could you tell such a terrible lie? I couldn't believe it and asked why she did it. Apparently, she was upset about the treatment we were planning. I had told her we were considering using a sperm donor. Casey was shocked at the thought of a grandchild not carrying her son's genetics and was vehemently against the treatment. She couldn't stand the idea of a grandchild unrelated to her. After being scolded by Bart, Casey turned on me, crying. It's all because you didn't get pregnant soon enough. I can't believe a woman can't do such a basic thing. You should just leave this house. In the end, she told me to leave. Is that so? I understand. I'm tired of dealing with you anyway. I'll do as you say. And so I decided to leave my in-laws' house. I arranged a new place to live and started packing whenever I had time. Casey seemed pleased that the troublesome daughter-in-law was leaving. Look, Rebecca, I bought a steak today. You won't be able to enjoy such delicious steaks anymore. Eat up, don't be shy. Thank you. I'll eat it later in my room. Bart, how about we go out to eat later? Now that Rebecca is leaving, we'll have more space in the house. Yeah, in a way, we'll have more space. Casey seemed genuinely happy to have her son all to herself in the house. She had already made a reservation at a restaurant just for her and Bart. Casey was so happy about my leaving that she even started humming a tune. I responded to Casey's sarcasm with a smile. Knowing my time in this house was limited, her words no longer affected me. In fact, I felt relieved to be leaving the source of my stress. Casey's stress could even negatively impact our treatment. Infertility treatments are expensive, and the cost only increase with more attempts. I hope to conceive with as few treatments as possible. On moving day, the moving truck arrived at the house. The movers began loading our belongings. Casey, thank you for everything. We're leaving now. As I said this, Casey's previously happy expression changed drastically. Wait, what? Why is Bart going too? I thought only you were leaving. She had mistakenly assumed that only I was moving out, even though there's no way that could be true. Bart, tired of Casey's comments and behavior, had already been considering living separately. Seeing the opportunity, he had quickly arranged for our new place. Casey, shocked, begged Bart to stay, but he refused, saying he couldn't bear to live with her anymore. Casey repeatedly called us, pleading to come back, but Bart remained firm.
I can't live with a mom who doesn't understand infertility treatment, and I can't forgive what you said to Rebecca, Mom. Please stop contacting us.
Wait, please listen to me. Don't leave me alone. After hanging up, Bart blocked Casey's calls. Though I felt sorry for her, I couldn't agree with Casey's words and mindset. Casey, now cut off by her beloved son, must be feeling desperate. Relatives said she had been asking everyone about our new address, but no one knew. She seemed completely worn out. Time passed, and we were blessed with the arrival of a baby boy, the very thing Casey had longed for. Meeting our son, I felt grateful for choosing the sperm bank, despite the time and money spent. But since we had cut ties, we couldn't let Casey meet him. Initially, we only informed Bart's relatives over the phone about the baby's birth. However, Casey eventually heard about our newborn. Desperate to meet her long-awaited grandson, she somehow found our apartment and showed up one morning, pounding on the door. Begging you, just let me see my grandson, even for a moment. I know he's born, and he's the boy I've been waiting for. How did you even find this place? I'm not letting you meet him, no matter how much you make a scene. Please leave.
That's right, Mom. You called him a child of a stranger. Why would we let someone who said that meet him?
But even after we said that, Casey didn't calm down. She probably wouldn't leave until she saw her grandson's face. Moreover, it was 7 a.m. Causing such a commotion so early in the morning would bother the neighbors. That's when it happened. Quick, the building manager! Despite all the noise, there's no response from my son and daughter-in-law. There's a newborn baby. It could be a serious matter.
Understood.
In the midst of our hesitation, she called the building manager to open our door, claiming an emergency. Once we opened the door, she barged in. Where's my baby, my grandchild? She tried to take our sleeping child. Stop it! What are you doing? Shut up! I'll raise him. He shouldn't be raised by someone like you. Bart, furious at her attempt to take our child, and the manager, who was shocked, intervened.
Enough, Mom. There are things even a mother shouldn't do. If you keep causing a scene, I'll call the police.
The threat of police made Casey leave reluctantly. We decided to move to a new place, with better security, a high-rise with a concierge to prevent her from easily getting in. Casey did try to find us and showed up at the high-rise, but was mistaken for a suspicious person and reported to the police. After being taken to the police station twice, she seemed to have learned her lesson. We no longer receive requests from Casey to meet the grandson. Relatives say Casey has become despondent, regretting her words to me. If only I hadn't said those things that day, I could be living with my grandchild now. I want to go back to those days. She reportedly says this daily. Meanwhile, we're enjoying parenting, free from Casey's stress. Our newborn child is truly adorable, just like an angel. When we smile at him, His laughter in response is indescribable. Seeing Bart play with our son confirms our decision was right. We're glad we went through with the infertility treatment. Parenting is challenging, but we're committed to making our child happy together.